Hi, starting this video we'll join the exciting world of Java. It's a very beautiful language. It's actually written in mostly in the C language. So most of the C functions, statements will be similar to the Java. This is very powerful combination. The whole world, all the web pages run using Java and C. That's the important client-server architecture. Previously, we had a different architecture, and after the client-server architecture came about 10 years ago, the world has completely changed. Starting from agriculture, machines, and all the way to the sending things to space. You need math, science, Java, and C language, and many languages came after that, like C++, C Pound, are all variations, C Sharp. I can keep naming all the languages. There are like 50 languages now. We started with basic language, and then COBOL language, and then Fortran, and then after that a big jump to the C language, Pascal. Pascal came. It's a very beautiful language. Okay, let's talk about the Java now. I always talk about different languages because I have created learning videos for all the languages. Please refer C, HTML, JavaScript of my videos. When you see all of them, you can link everything and get a better understanding. You will be an expert programmer. There is no doubt about it, if you follow my videos. And for all the languages, 50 languages, the basic thing is memory. How are you going to handle memory in the program? That's very important. Before writing the program, you got to understand, Let's talk about the basics of storage, how it's stored. In computer, everything is stored in zeros and ones, on, off switch. Quantum computing is different, that's multi-state. Okay, let's start here. It's all in the bytes. 2 to the power of n. What is n is the question. Then the value. We'll start with the kilobyte is 2 power 10. So 1024 bytes. Next is megabyte is 2 power 20. It's a large number. That's 1048576. We call it 1 M or 1 MB. Next is gigabyte. That's 2 power 30. So that's, if you see 3 digits here, right? Here it will be 6 digits. So add 3 to everything. Here it will be 9 digit is 1 billion. 1 gigabyte is 1 billion. See, 1073741 What's after that? It's terabyte. That's 2 power 40. And you can see 12 digits will be there. 12. What's after that? Petabyte, 2 power 50. So imagine 12, 15 digits. And right now, it looks like Googleplex as the max number, You can always talk about infinity. I'll be creating actually a video about what is infinity and talk about it. It's very interesting, So in Java programming, everything, all the language, we need the storage. Let's talk about what is special in Java. When we say Java, we talk about two things: objects, classes. That's different from other languages. Okay, it's called object-oriented programming, Java programming. Everything is considered as objects. In relational database, check my database videos. In relational database, we talk about tables, rows, columns. A table, row, columns, data is stored there. But how we visualize in Java, everything is entities, they have attributes, objects. So a table is an object. You can link everything, There is one diagram called entity relationship diagram. I'll talk about it in another video. That's like a base for the Java programming and many things. A lot of corporations use that. You start with algorithm. When a project is given, you start with the algorithm, then a flow chart, and then the ER diagram, and then which language you choose, write the program. There will be a bunch of developers doing all these things. Depends on the size of the project. That can be 5 developers or 10 developers or 10 administrators, Java developers. So Java is Java virtual machine. You need to understand some terminology before jumping into the language. Java, objects, classes. I'm going to talk about class in a little bit. JVM is the Java Virtual Machine. And why we choose Java? Because we need speed in everything, high speed. Whatever program you need write, it should execute very fast. That's what we need, performance, faster. It's multi-threaded. Multi-threaded means I have to talk about process. Okay, when a computer executes a program, it's a process. If it does in one cycle, it's okay. It's a large program. If it does in one cycle, that is not okay. You need parallel processing. Multiple processes running at the same time to use the CPU. So we want to maximize the usage of the computer CPU. That's why we write efficient programs to handle the storage, speed. So multi-threaded, Java is multi-threaded, meaning multi-processing. Even in a single project, it will be executing like 5 things at the same time, at the same second. When you talk about computers, you got to talk about nanoseconds. Inside the computer, everything executes in nanoseconds, very fast. It's very dynamic code, meaning very faster, So these are the different best combinations. C, Java, JavaScript. I need to add HTML to this. So all these 4 are very powerful in creating a web page. So in this one, we got some basics about the storage of the Java programming, how it's implemented inside the PC or Mac. Now we'll move on to the next slide, Here we're going to talk about remember in C language, I talked about everything you write a code, you can store it as a function, a library. So C has like thousands of libraries of functions, which we use in our project, If our project becomes very good, you can put it in the open source, it'll become a library of functions, millions of people can use it. Depends on the functionality of the function you write. Okay, let's see here. It's a great library of functions, and for any program, any project, there is a code, right? And then you need a user interface. How a user will enter the data. You have to write the code making in the mind that the user interface has to be easy, The customer should not feel very hard to go through the pages or search for something. So the best graphical user interface, GUI, you can produce with Java programs. Visual Basic also, Microsoft, you can use that too. This is another alternative, both are good. And data manipulation. I already told you the insert, delete, update, delete. Insert, select, update, delete, the 4 main functions of the database. Check my basic database videos, you'll understand better. We need all these 4 operations very fast. That's called data manipulation. With Java program, it will be very fast. Either you insert data or query or update existing data or delete, purge large amounts of data. It will be very fast. Another advantage is when you write a program, your program runs on Windows, but will it run on Linux operating system? There is like 10, 15 operating systems. You got to make sure there's a code you write, it should be running without any modification on multiple machines. That's where Java comes. You can write one code, it will run in Windows, Linux, Mac OS without any modification. That's the beauty of Java. And IDE is Integrated Development Environment. I always talk about writing the code. So you can ask me how to write the code. What is the software we use? That's called Integrated Development Environment. Previous languages, there is only an editor, you can write the program. But this word integrated is very important. You can do a lot of stuff within the whole development environment, You can debug everything. I'm going to talk about these things in detail later. And you can run the programs using the IDE, step-by-step debug, execution. Any program you write, you got to debug. Debug means finding the errors in the program. When you write the first time, it's going to give a bunch of errors. Then you got to go back, you want to find out where the actual error is. So we put in debug mode, the compiler will run step by step. So at step 1, you can check variable A, variable B, variable C like that, I'll explain later. And what are the common IDEs development software available? Eclipse is very famous. I have used it a lot. And I have about 35 years of experience writing all kinds of programs, Eclipse is very good. JGrasp, Dr. Java, there is one called BlueJ, there are a lot of others, some of these might be free, some you have to pay some money for subscription. Okay, I'm talking about Java program. Let's see a simple program. Public class Super Java, same curly braces like the other languages. Inside that, public static void main. Main is called a method. Every Java program should have a method, so the compiler knows where to start, Even C language we call the main method. Inside there is these are called parameters. String of, remember I talked about the array of characters, that's the string here. See, C and Java are same. ARGS means arguments. There can be bunch of arguments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the program comes in, this is the class name, these parameters, it will execute, display the output. That's what a program does. And these are class is very important concept. I'm going to talk in the next slide. Static, void. Void means it's not returning anything now, for now, null values. What do we do here? We are calling, I talk about the library of functions, right? System method, out, function. Print line is actually a function within these attributes, these methods. I'm printing Super Java. So what this program does is, it's printing Super Java, that's it. Just 4 lines of code. Output will be Super Java. And the important thing about Java is, any language we have to follow some standard convention. Somebody writing a code in France, somebody in USA, somebody in Germany, all follow the same rules of notation. So the class name should start with capital S, lowercase. And all the programming in Java and some part of C will be in lowercase letters. All these are lowercase. This is capital letter, this is capital letter. That's about it. So I talked about the class. So the 2 rules you have to remember. The class name, first letter should be capital letters, because the whole thing will be stored in a file called superjava.java. .java means it's a Java program. So this has to match this one. So it will be easy for the compiler, So all these are lowercase and this is the file name. These 2 rules you got to remember. And C language you have to put the file name .c. Then only the compiler will know what language it is. So here I gave a brief introduction about the next level of Java, basic things. Normally we execute the code in Windows, Linux, Mac OS X. Even in the same corporation, there will be different departments using different operating systems. So your program should be portable to any operating system, any machine. That's what the managers like, the whole company. Okay, let's move on to more detail about the methods. Okay, what is a program? It's a block of code. It's called a script. It can be web script is called HTML script. This is JavaScript. So this block of code here, it will someday become part of a library. Even if you write a very good program, you can create a function of that, and you can make it available to the public. Anybody can use it. That's called the open source, So here you have public, class. This is a general template for Java program. That's the name, and you got the method 1, method 2, method 3. That's it. This is a JavaScript. This is a Java program. So what is public? Public is the class header of this class. And each Java code is stored in a class. Like the data is stored there in relational database tables. Okay. This is an example class. Okay, what is strings? Array of characters. An example strings can be inside here. I love Java and C. That's the string stored in this value. Just an example. This is another example. I'm going in detail, Okay, we talked about method. What is a method? It can be a bunch of statements. So statement, same things, A name, that's called main. Main is the main method. Every Java program should have it. There is the string function arguments. Remember in C language we talked about escape sequences. Escape sequences makes the programmer job easier. What if you want to put a string inside here? For example, remember this is the actual string, right? I love Java and C. What if you want to put the codes inside here? So output it should put the codes. So to tell Java that I want to put the codes here, you got to use all these convention, string, it's called escape sequence. So when the compiler comes, it will come and print this. It will see a double quotes here. Then it will escape. Remember that it's an escape sequence, not a normal sequence. So these are the common escape sequences available for the programmer. /t means tab. You know what's a tab? In the computer on the leftmost button, there's a button called tab. You may or may not never use it, but start using it. If you're here in the computer, you want to type some space, you'll be putting space like 10 times. Try pressing the tab, it will jump to here, like 3-4 spaces. That's called tab. /n is new line. New line means I want to print this, I can put a /n, I love JavaScript too, so it will print on the next line. If you don't have this, it's going to print here, it will look clumsy. So you have to print the next line. It's very commonly used with printf statements. Printf is a function. Scanf means reading input. That's another function. Printf means we want to display the output. And /double quotes is the one we used to. We want to put double quotes here, put double slash here inside in the code. I'll give an example later. And \. Sometimes you want to print \/ in the string. So in today's Java class, we learned about the basic thing, memory storage, how it is handled. I gave an example about a brief intro about the Java powerful programming language. We talked about IDE, how to write the program in the software. This is an example method, and we'll go in detail about the statements, loops. It will be similar to the C language. So please check my other videos, and you have to watch the same or different language videos simultaneously in a week so that you can link everything what I'm talking about. Because when I teach C, I talk about Java too or HTML too, databases too. Everything go together, C, Java, HTML, JavaScript, database, 5 things. Remember 5 things? I'm going to talk about in every video all the 5 things, how they relate to each other. So long. Thank you.